Good evening. This is Dominic with TheBackVlog. This is the latest I've ever recorded a video. So the sun's not out. I hope the lighting is okay. It looks pretty good on my end, so I hope it is. Last night, I finished Chapter 1 of Higurashi When They Cry Whole, which is a remake of, I guess, the original game from 2007, or I guess original visual novel from 2007. This is the Onikakushi chapter, I think it's pronounced. I knew what happened in this arc because I saw the first season of the anime. I watched it for the first time last year, and I rewatched it now this year. But despite already knowing what happens in the story, the first person perspective that the visual novel is written in does wonders for the tension of this. Like, the anime cannot match the tension that is presented in the visual novel, because in the visual novel it's like you are Keiichi Maebara, but you know, in the anime he's just a character. I didn't realize this at first because the reason I went to the visual novel, other than just because I wanted to experience the visual novel to begin with, I wanted to see how it compared as an adaptation to the anime. I wanted to see like how the anime did it, how it adapted the source material. I never really like played, I guess, read a visual novel before, because it's not really a game. It's more just like an audiobook with anime girls in it. But I was kind of more expecting it to be like a choose your own adventure thing, like where you would choose your responses and that's what would progress the story. But it seemed like there wasn't really much gameplay. So it really was just me kind of like reading a book. The version that's available on Steam isn't actually really an audiobook. Like, it doesn't have the like the voice acting or anything. I found a mod that kind of, I think, incorporates the PS3 sprites, like the PS3 version of the game, as well as the voice acting from those, or from that version. So that's how I like experienced this game. I didn't really like the original way it was presented. In the Steam version, there are updated sprites, but I don't really like the original Ryukishi 07 sprites. And I also don't like the fact that the text kind of like covers the whole screen. I like it like just like at the lower third of it. So that's why I went with the mod for it. I said, like, you know, the first person perspective adds on to the tension of it. Also, the writing is just phenomenal. But the other thing that this visual novel does really well, and it's really slow that it happens, it slowly begins to introduce like more dynamic frames. You don't see any variety with the character sprites at all until chapter 7. Because, like, you know, you have like a character profile, and then the way that up to chapter 7 it has been was like maybe there would be like 2 character profiles, or like 3 character profiles. But then in chapter 7, to kind of like create a more dynamic scene, you have like a character profile, but it's like kind of pushed in a little bit, and in the background you have another character profile. And like, they hadn't done that in chapter 7, and the first time they did it, it was just like in one of the slice of lifey kind of scenes at the school, and I was like, oh, they're introducing this and they're going to use that now. And then they did. I wrote here, I'm curious how it will be used. That was before it did the extreme close-up. So like, you know, you have you have it like back here, like this is like the normal. This is like when they started to like introduce it a little bit more. And then like when it like start to get like to the scenes where Reina or Mion are like trying to, like, they're catching on to you lying to them, it gets like for like an extreme close up, and like they get right up in your face, and they got like those fucking demon eyes, and it's like, it's so fucking scary, dude. Towards the end, there's like an even more extreme close up of these eyes that are, it's kind of like whenever you see like a scary drawing, like drawn by a kid. So it's got like this kind of like crayon style to it, and it's just like the screen is enveloped in blackness except for like these 2 like giant eyes and like the irises are like red, and it's like no, the whites of the eyes are red, I think. And like, you know, you have like the deep black centers of them. It is terrifying. Yeah, and the way that it's written, like the prose is so gruesome. When the needle scene happens, the needle scene is like it's kind of bad in the anime. It's like, oh, that sucks. But like the way that it's described, like the prose in that chapter, I was like, I couldn't read it. I was like, oh, this is bad. Oh, that's real bad. So like, I don't think I'm gonna do the rest of the chapters this year. I want to prioritize the Silent Hill games. I am gonna finish the anime this year, so I'll talk about the anime whenever I finish that. But for the more like gruesome arcs, like the Shion arc, specifically, I am kind of not looking forward to reading that because that in the anime it's brutal as hell, and I feel like the visual novel is going to be even more so. That kind of brings me to my next point, though. The other chapters that don't follow Keiichi, like I think there's one that follows Satoshi, and obviously there's the Shion one. I don't think the ones on Steam have the Higurashi Rei ones. The other arcs that follow those characters, I'm kind of curious to see how those characters are portrayed, or like how the prose is written or something. I feel like this made Keiichi more of a shithead, or just kind of like a scumbag kid, than the anime did. Like I was kind of like, oh my god, dude, are you seriously like this? Yeah, there was a lot of cringe going on. I really like the little post game thing where there's kind of like a cast like interview section, and they're talking about like the mysteries and like what they think is going on. It's really cool. It's like a little like fourth wall break kind of thing where it's like the actors playing characters. I thought that was really neat. The main reason I'm getting into Higurashi this season, and I started last year. I just never got past the first season. I just was slacking on watching television shows at a time before I really set up a routine for myself. But the real reason I'm getting into it, besides the fact that it is like a fantastic horror, is the fact that Ryukishi07, the writer of this, is the head writer and story of the upcoming Silent Hill F, which I have been excited for the past 3 years now, when it got first announced, because I was like, Silent Hill in 60s Japan, yeah, I need it. So yeah, I'm kind of familiarizing myself with not what to expect, but the quality of which to expect. And I'm really looking forward to it, and this is making me look forward to it even more. Especially now that the mysteries of Higurashi are kind of starting to unravel a little bit where I'm at in the anime. But I'll talk about that in a future video. I'm almost done with the second season. I won't be talking about the first season, but consider this my discussion of the first arc of the first season. So yeah, Higurashi When They Cry is a massive undertaking. There's a lot of different versions of it. I guess the easiest way to get into it is just, look at the Steam versions. Don't overthink it. And, if you're not a fan of the way it's initially presented, then look at the Steam guides, like through like some of the ways to like get the mod to like do that. When I asked a buddy of mine how I should get into it, he suggested the anime because of the original sprite designs are pretty rudimentary. And they're kind of like bubbly and not like, I don't know, they're a little bit like cartoonish, like Hello Kitty almost style, rather than like just like a plain anime style. But the anime is a good way to go too. There's a lot of different ways to get into the very beginning of it. As for the extended stuff, that is something I'm not even quite myself familiar with. I know there's like Umineko When They Cry also, and I don't even know what that is. I don't know how that relates to anything. It might not, for all I know. But yeah. Higurashi When They Cry. Very good. Very scary.